G'day folks, today I'm going to teach you how to make a shrimp net, a homemade shrimp net, or we could call it a bait trap, depending where you are in the world. Here in northeast Victoria, one of the best baits for most of our freshwater fish is the freshwater shrimp. And another good little bait is a freshwater yabby, and this trap will catch both yabbies and shrimp, and it doesn't matter whereabouts in the world you are, a trap like this will catch those little crustaceans and other little bait fish and stuff that you can use. It's easy, it doesn't really cost you anything. Let's do it. First, I'm going to get a soft drink bottle. This is high-tech stuff, folks. I'm going to cut the label off just in case the shrimp have a preference for Coke over Pepsi. This goes in my pocket and I'll put that in the car and it'll roll around the floor of the car for 6 months until I clean my car next. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Coke bottle, I'm going to cut the top off and I'm going to spin it round and let that act as a funnel. So I'll cut that about there. I don't use my good knife for this. This is my old knife. This is an old buck knife, but it's still a good knife. But I now have a better knife called a Dexter filleting knife that I got from Slice of Life in Wangaratta with my mate Brent. So now I've taken that off. The idea is to put that in there like so to act as a funnel. Like that. You see that? That's like a little miniature drum net. It's like a little miniature bait trap, and that will catch shrimps, but it won't work because the moment that hits the water, the pressure will push the funnel in. So we need to attach the funnel to the end. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on this log. I'm going to cut a few holes. I'm going to cut a hole, the first hole can go there. So I put it on the log, over a little crack in the timber, and I'll cut a little hole in there. Be very, very careful of your fingers. Now if you're at home and you're making this in preparation to go down the river, you might want to use a hand drill, a little battery powered drill, or even put it over a bit of wood and hammer a nail through and make a nice clean cut. But if you're down the river like I am now and you haven't got access to power tools and any of that sort of stuff, then you need to use your knife. I want to cut 4 holes. Make the hole nice and round so I can get the cord through. Right, there's the first hole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of my green cord. I'm going to poke that through the hole. Might be a bit harder than it looks. There we go. I'm going to poke it through that hole. And there's my first join. Tie up the knots in it. Cut the loose ends off. And this is going to look a bit daggy, but we're not making it to look good. We're not making it for cosmetic purposes, we're making it for the purpose of catching some bait. Now I'm going to put a cut on the other side. Try and make the hole nice and rounded so I can get the cord through. Cut another bit of cord. Tie that on. Cut the dags off. Now it's starting to look like a shrimp net. I reckon I might put 3 in. I'll put another one there. Give that a bit of a twist, make it nice and open so I can get the cord through. This is actually the hardest part, getting the cord through the hole. Righto, we'll tie that on. And I'll cut the dags off again. Okay, so I've just got one more to make. I want that out a bit, so I'm going to try and cut it like this. Be very, very careful not to cut your finger when you're doing it like this. When you make the last one you might need to just line up like I just did then to make sure the funnel, you want the funnel or the bottle top to be somewhere in the centre of that chamber, like that is there. Now with this one, I'm going to make the string a fair bit longer because this is the string that I'm going to use to throw the net in, or the trap in. What I'm going to do, just excuse me, I'm going to get some bait. I've got some down here. What I've got here is a little bit of, it's a rabbit leg. That should nearly fit through the funnel. Look at that, fits perfect. Right, now there's my net, basically. I've got a cord here, a couple of metres long. Now I can use it like that. The problem is when I throw it out it's going to float, so I have to fill it with water and then throw it out, and it's hard to bring in. The more holes I can put in the side to help drain the water out, the better. Or to help it take water in so that it sinks. But you want to be really careful that you don't rip huge big holes in the plastic when you do this, otherwise the shrimp can get out. Righto, can get through. Try not to put too much pressure on here, otherwise the knife might go through. There we go, it's just starting to go through now. There we go. Then we'll get a little bit of water. Right, so I've put 6 or 7 holes in it. I've got the lid acting as a funnel. I've reversed the lid, it's acting as a funnel. It's got half a dozen holes. It's got a bit of rabbit leg. Shrimp will like any meat. It can be a bit of lamb's fry, a bit of chop. Sausage isn't really good because sausage actually breaks up. A bit of solid meat. My father does a lot of rabbit shooting and he gave me a feed of fresh rabbits the other night, so I've kept a couple of bits and pieces. And I've just put a leg in there. So there's my net. That's how you make a homemade shrimp net. Now let's go and put it in the river, and down here now I'm at the lower reaches of the Ovens River. Let's go and put this into the Ovens River and see if we can catch a couple of shrimp. It's not a good time of the day. I prefer late in the evening. As it starts getting darker, the shrimp come out from the deeper water into the shallow water. They'll live around shaded areas and they'll hide around lots of snags. So I'm going to try and find a nice snaggy spot to try this now. We'll put it in for a while and we'll just see how it goes. Right, now I've chosen this spot because it's in the shade a little bit. There's a few snags and it's in the shade. The shrimp should be hiding around these snags and they might be a bit more inclined to come out in the shade than what they are in the sun, which makes them a bit more viewable, seeable, noticeable, I don't know. There'll be a big word that I don't know. Because I've only got a few holes, I'm going to fill this with water before I throw it in and try and get it to land just next to that snag. sinking, but it's sinking in the right spot. Okay, I might give that just half an hour or so and just see how it goes, and I'll come back and check it. Righto folks, the net hasn't had long. It's had probably around about 10 or 15 minutes, but I'll try it and see. Oh, yes. One of my knots just come undone. How good's that? There's two in there. I've caught 2 freshwater shrimp, and they're only little ones, but like I said earlier, it is that time of day. Now, with the knot come undone, I was actually going to take one of the knots off anyway, probably not the one that had the string on it, but what I can do is get the shrimp out through there. There's one. There's the other one. It's pretty hard to pick up on this camera, but there's my little shrimp. Tiny, weeny little crustaceans, like little prawns. I'm going to try and get some bigger ones. So these couple here, I don't know whether the camera can see them, I'm going to put them back in the river. And off they go. But that proves to you that it works. They were only small shrimp, but bear in mind the net has only been in the water about 10, maybe 15 minutes in broad daylight. If I leave this here now, I've got to go and do a few things. If I leave this here now and come back and check it in a couple of hours, I will have plenty of bait. I may even come down here bait fishing this evening, in which case I might leave this in the water now. Then when I come back down later on, provided there's nobody else here fishing in this spot, I will have plenty of bait for my evening's fishing. A homemade shrimp net. Easy peasy Japanesey. Good luck. Just a quick note before I go, if you don't have any green cord, you can use fishing line. The heavier the better. The fishing line actually ties a better knot. It doesn't come undone like the green cord like it just did. The fishing line ties a better knot, but light line can snap as you lift the weight of the bottle full of water out of the water. So you can double your line up or use heavier line, and you can use wire if you've got little bits of wire. Wire is probably the best of the lot because then you can just undo it to get the shrimps out. You can use wire. You can even use a pipe cleaner if you want to, or you can use cable ties. I suggest if you're making it at home, use 3 cable ties and then use a bit of wire for the 4th one. That way you can undo the wire and use that one to get the shrimp out, or the yabbies out if there's yabbies in there, and then you can put the wire back on and you don't affect the cable ties. But either way, that should give you an idea of how to make a shrimp trap while you're down the river fishing. Good luck and have fun. That's what it's all about.